You know those stories about a wild night out changing everything? Well, what if one of those nights didn't just end with a killer hangover, but with a legally binding marriage you have absolutely zero memory of?
Just try to imagine that for a second. You wake up in some random hotel room, your head is absolutely pounding, and there's a cheap plastic ring on your finger. You're married. You can't remember a single thing about it, but the proof is right there.
And then, just when you think it can't get any worse, the real horror sets in. You roll over, and you see the person you just accidentally married. And nope, it's not a stranger. It's the one person you are absolutely, positively not supposed to be involved with, your coworker.
And that is exactly where our story kicks off. Right in the middle of the chaotic aftermath of a Las Vegas night that went completely off the rails for professional baseball player Isaiah Rodez and the team's physician, Kennedy Key. So that morning after, it's pure chaos. They wake up and the blame game starts immediately. Isaiah is swearing this was all Kennedy's idea, some grand plan to get revenge on her ex. Kennedy, of course, is horrified, firing back that even if she did say it in some drunken haze, he's the impulsive one. He should have been the voice of reason.
But you can't really argue with the evidence, and the evidence is just absurd. We're talking cheap vending machine quality rings, a crumpled but very legal-looking marriage certificate, and not a single memory of the actual ceremony. All they really have to show for it is one massive, shared, skull-splitting hangover. For Kennedy, the panic isn't just about being married to a guy she barely knows, it's about her entire career going up in flames. See, their team has a super strict no fraternization policy, and this is the ultimate violation. To really get why this is such a complete disaster, we need to rewind about 3 years, to the day they first met.
Yeah, their first meeting wasn't exactly a fairy tale moment. In fact, it happened in probably the least romantic place you can imagine, an empty women's restroom at the Chicago Warriors Stadium.
So picture this. It is the single worst day of the year for Isaiah Rodez. It's the anniversary of his mother's death. Now, everyone knows him as the team clown, the guy who's always got a joke, but that's really just a carefully constructed shield. On this particular day, he's hiding out in the women's restroom. It's his secret spot, just trying to hold it together.
And that's when he overhears something. It's Kennedy, a super smart and ambitious doctor, on her very first day. She's getting interviewed by the team's head physician, Dr. Frederick, and the guy is being brutally sexist. He actually hired her thinking Kenny was a man, and when he finds out she's a woman, he tries to push her out, even saying, "There's a reason I don't hire women." Isaiah is just disgusted. After Dr. Frederick leaves, Kennedy storms into that same restroom to vent, not knowing anyone's in there. So Isaiah pops out of a stall, sees how upset she is, and decides she needs a laugh. After she complains her career is getting derailed just because she has 2 boobs and a vagina, he introduces himself and drops this perfectly weird, disarming line. And what do you know? For the first time all day, she actually smiles. A real smile. They end up having this amazing, honest conversation. But then one of Isaiah's teammates walks by and yells his name. And just like that, the whole mood shatters. Kennedy realizes this charming guy isn't just some random stranger. He's Isaiah Rodez, the star player. And that professional line she's not allowed to cross just became a giant wall right between them. But for Isaiah, something just clicked. As she's walking away, totally rattled, he has this one crystal clear thought. It might sound like a joke, but you get the feeling a part of him is dead serious. And then, just as she turns, he sees it, a huge engagement ring on her finger. And his heart just sinks.
Okay, let's fast forward 3 years, right back to that insane night in Vegas. Kennedy isn't engaged anymore, but trust me, she's found herself in a brand new kind of personal hell.
So Kennedy is literally trapped at a bachelorette party for her stepsister, Mallory. And get this, the guy Mallory is marrying, it's Kennedy's ex-fiancé, Connor. She's miserable, she's desperate for an out, and then she physically runs right into Isaiah in the middle of the club. Being Isaiah, he sees she's in trouble and immediately saves her. He just whisks her away. And the rest of the night becomes this whirlwind of spontaneity. He buys her comfy shoes, they go on a tequila-fueled bar crawl, and then Isaiah, always the agent of chaos, jokingly suggests the ultimate revenge. She should get married before her ex does. Well, they're drunk, they're feeling bold, and next thing you know, they're standing in front of a chapel. One terrible idea just leads to another. So they wake up, they deal with the hangover and the sheer panic, and they fly back to Chicago. The plan? Get an annulment and never, ever speak of this again. But, well, secrets in the world of pro sports tend to have a very short shelf life.
Monday morning rolls around and they both get the call they've been dreading. They're being summoned to the office of the team owner, the big boss, Mr. Remington. You could just imagine them walking down that long hallway, totally convinced their careers are over.
Mr. Remington does not waste any time. He just turns his computer screen around, and there it is, in huge bold letters for the whole world to see. A paparazzi photo of them outside the chapel, looking ridiculously happy, with a headline that turns their drunken mistake into some kind of epic romance. The article even quotes Isaiah saying, "I finally married the girl I've been obsessed with for years." Mr. Remington is not amused. Not at all. He reminds them of the #1 rule in the employee handbook. Casual relationships between players and staff are strictly forbidden. It is a fireable offense, period. Kennedy's absolute worst fear is coming true right in front of her. Okay, so this is it. The moment of truth. Kennedy is about to lose everything she has ever worked for. She is completely frozen in panic. But Isaiah, the guy who lives for impulse, has one more trick up his sleeve. He looks the owner dead in the eye, and he just doubles down on the lie. He grabs Kennedy's hand, and he declares that there is nothing casual about their relationship. He tells Mr. Remington that he's been secretly in love with her for 3 years, ever since the day they met.
And he doesn't stop there. The guy builds an entire case. He argues the rule is about casual relationships. And hey, a marriage is the exact opposite of casual. He even brings up that there's another married couple who works for the organization. And he finishes with his passionate defense of Kennedy's value to the team, insisting they can't afford to lose her. It is a desperate but totally brilliant performance. And unbelievably, the lie works. Mr. Remington actually buys it. Their jobs are safe, but they've just traded one massive problem for an even bigger one. Their drunken mistake is now a public love story, and they have to sell it. They have to live together, act like they're madly in love, and fool their teammates, their bosses, and literally the entire world.
So they started with an impulsive vow, and they saved their careers with an impulsive lie. But now that they're forced to live out this public romance, the real question becomes, will the lie they told to save their jobs end up becoming the truth that saves them both?